Hey there guys, Bad Fat Panda here, and I have another commentary for you. So this is actually going to be a... what the fuck? This is actually going to be a mindfuck. ClassicPrime actually plays Protoss for the Prime team, and somebody else happens to be on his account playing Zerg. So, I'm actually not sure, who is playing on the Zerg front, but this is our hero Taeja, as I will be documenting all of his replay pack in VODs. So he's sending out, I guess I will call him Classic for this game, but I don't know. I'm going to feel a little bit weird about it. So Classic is actually sending his OB to the general first location. You can really see a fair amount, even if you just go outside into vision range for a brief amount of time to maybe catch an expo, see if they're taking this gas and whatnot. Occasionally there have been people macaraxing their barracks down here to this low ground and then lifting it up, but it doesn't look like Taeja is going to be doing that this game, as his SCV is in a position to take his normal 12 barracks. Recently we've seen a couple Terrans actually in the GSL going ahead with the Eco 13 racks. You're just squeaking out an extra SCV, as there is a little bit of time that you're actually not building, but that's going to be something for a gasless expand, as you really don't need your timings down pat. Generally with gas timings is the thing that sort of delays that and prevents people from doing it in any other build aside from a 1-rack Sexpo. So Classic is going around, and will he hit the SCV at all? Nope. He is content to scout the gas and then go back home. Let's see. Hatch first is coming down from our Zerg, and additional greedy. This is just about as greedy as you can get playing Zerg against Terran. It's pretty okay for this map too, because there's it's a pretty small choke. You can really block it up with one spine, maybe two if you scout them, still on one base after a while. But he's actually getting 2 drones before getting gas, and then getting a spawning pool. That is quite a late spawning pool. Here we see Taeja's SCV just coming up at the moment, and meanwhile it looks like, because he's getting a second Marine, it seems to be that he's going to get a factory behind this. Yep, I could imagine Reactor Hellion would be the most obvious choice, although he may switch it up. Taeja just going around here, seeing if if Classic got a little bit greedy and overextended his welcome, but he did not. Because whoever is playing is a very good... It could be Classic playing Zerg too. I mean, Koreans do this all the time. When Hart streamed, he would often play random on Grandmaster Ladder in Korea, just for funsies. And we do actually see him taking off after 100 gas. So that's sort of come back in style. A lot of people, I would guess around the past 3 or 4 months, have been going gasless. Nest T has been frequently doing so in his games, but from Taeja we actually have a standard Reactor Hellion expand, and this is always something you want to do. Is put down that depot before you start any Hellions, else you'll get supply blocked, and nobody wants to get supply blocked. I wonder what Taeja's doing out on the map. I guess he's just continuing to position units. His mule was a little bit late. It's something kind of uncharacteristic, so it's always good to check around for what's going on in the meantime. Zergling's just scouting around here for any sort of Marines overextending, looking for overlords and such. Meanwhile, we do have a single... Oh no, he's actually putting guys back on gas. This is a relatively early time for a layer if he does use that first 100 gas to do so. Meanwhile, he's hitting all of his injects, queens at both of his naturals and both of his expansions. He doesn't have 2 naturals, it's okay. And droning up like a madman. Behind this, we actually see Taeja getting a very early stim. I'm eager to see what this amounts to. Generally, stim is more of an aggressive research, whereas combat shields, you're delaying stim, possibly going to do some sort of light timing with that 10 extra HP that it gives you. But with stim, I would imagine we're going to see... Interesting. I wonder if he's going to get a 3rd barracks behind this and go for some sort of marine pressure, if he's actually going to keep building Hellions out of that reactor. It's going to be interesting. Meanwhile, we just have Taeja setting up for some Hellion Harass. This is a really good thing to do. It minimizes the... I guess it sort of maximizes the damage of the Hellions if they're not concentrating their flame through multiple... It's really hard to explain this. But basically, he's setting them all up in a line so that they can each fire if the Zerglings actually do try and get out, as Zergling speed has actually finished. And we see another reactor and a factory coming down, or a starport coming down, so yeah, I'm assuming this is going to be some sort of combat shields timing with 2 medevacs. Stim combat shields timing. Because I don't think he's going to do anything with Stim. It's really interesting though, Koreans don't generally get Stim this early. I was expecting him to do something with it, but I guess it's just sort of, hey, you know what, I have 100 gas, here it goes. Polt was doing it a while ago, but he's sort of moved on. A Baling Nest coming down, and a Macro Hatch. Meanwhile, oh, Classic actually gets quite a good surround on the Hellions there. And it looks like all of these will actually go down. That's pretty big. If we take a look at the units lost, only 12 Zerglings. Oh, that was some Gosu micro right there. Well done. And he actually keeps one Hellion alive, which is pretty clutch. Losing all of your Hellions in one go really takes a hit. Your map control really takes a hit from that. And let's see. If he goes full on with this marine production and starts double upgrades the second his E-bays get down. Oh, he does actually have a third building. Where is that? Oh, over there in the corner. I didn't see it. I was wondering, because he was going to delay his third an awful long time considering the metagame. But this is it's playing to the map very well. Dropship and Drop Harass are just really good. If you get an early Stim like he did, you can really sort of abuse the first 2 medevacs and Stim up as much as you want to. They'll get healed in good time. Whoa! Alright, let's take a look at the drone count actually. So this is actually a high econ Baneling bust. He's delaying his third a bit to do this push, but he feels that he's in a position to capitalize on Taeja being greedy and getting this additional third. Although he doesn't see it. He's just assuming from the fact that he got back map control by killing those Hellions and getting them off the map, that he's going to be able to pressure here. Taeja not actually pre-splitting his Marines, so this is going to do a fair amount of damage. Although he doesn't have any Zerglings behind this, I disagree with this. Unless he actually gets a... Whoa. Very nice split by Taeja. If he can get a clutch... Not too many workers were actually killed there, only 8. And if we take a look at the units lost, that's going to be massively in favor for our Terran player. So, oh wow, he is actually going to try and time this out with Baneling's speed and go for his second run. I'm not sure if I agree with this 100%. He's delaying his third base an awful long time, and meanwhile Taeja's orbital is nearly finished. And 1-1 will be done soon as well. If he engages in the open field, Taeja can kite forever. These 4 Mutalisks, this is a very good play to get the Mutalisks so that Taeja can't pick up 16 Marines in his medevacs without losing them to the Mutalisks. So he does have a constraint on the way he can micro this, but oh, Taeja doesn't seem to be paying attention. That is not good. Okay, so he did focus fire and mute it down. Siege mode has barely started research, so that'll be still a while. Very nice dropship micro there, but he will lose a lot of SCVs in the process. Oh, snipe those Banelings, no! There's still 2 rolling around there. Oh, that was a... Oh, man. That was a really poor Baneling explosion timing, and these additional Zerglings will just get sacked. They're sort of just getting thrown into this slaughter, and he is actually going to see if he can do any damage, but Taeja already has missile turrets up. And he is just going to maximize... Wow, this is just... So he's going to maximize the profit of getting this third orbital up really quickly. I'd imagine he's going to throw it down now. Let's take a look at his map vision, actually. So he has scouted the third base. He knows what's up. And I believe that was from a scan because it was just... he just actually threw that up. Kind of a positioning blunder by Taeja there. Stims only a couple Marines forward and saves that third medevac. But Classic is actually getting up there. Into the double digits with the mutable. Not quite yet, but he's going to be there soon, I'd imagine. He's saving up gas. And that's really not... that much gas is not for banelings this late in the game. Taeja's third is actually going down. And I really like Taeja's positioning here. Let's actually take a look at the upgrades. If I can click on a Zergling. Yep, that's what I thought. 0-0 to 2-2 nearly completing. So this seems to be a one-sided game, although Burrow is being researched. So Classic can definitely still get back into this. If there's one upgrade that's going to do that, probably Burrow. Meanwhile, double expanding, I actually like this play. He knows he's a bit behind after that aggression failed. Although he's not behind in the drone count, you can't let a Terran get an I mean, this is kind of an uncontested third. Yeah, he pressured him for a bit on 2 base, but after he got the third down, he just didn't have the units left to commit after spending all of those resources trying to bust Taeja. And while the supply counts are similar, let's take a look at what's filling that supply. 38 additional Zerglings that are 0-0 are now in Classic's army. And we actually do have, yeah. So there we go, there's our double digits. 17 Mutalisks going in, and Taeja only has 2 turrets here. Although the Marines will stem forward and kite them back. With some kiting, he can actually do some work, although there's a bunker there, so I agree with him not pressuring that. Only 2 tanks here for Taeja. If Classic has a bunch of banelings, this is not a bunch. It's like a smidgen. A little bit more than a smidgen. It's a handful. Some nice Mutalisk control by Classic actually allows him to pick off 1 tank, and Taeja knows that he can't press forward with that. It's hard with the high ground advantage here. With only 1 tank to cover against those banelings, you're really not in a position to press forward. Although, I kind of like this play by Classic. He's catching Taeja's army split into 2 halves, although once those tanks siege up, he cannot engage. He really can't afford to lose these units. If we take a look at Taeja's army, he's maxed with like a 1k bank. This is... I mean, he's going to max with the next production wave. He has a Thor out to deny that Mutalisk harass. And he's actually getting a 4th at the moment, too. Meanwhile, Classic has actually not been able to saturate his 4th base, and is still really only on 3 base with a macro hatch. Huge engagement happening here. Let's see. What happened to those banelings? I guess they died. Yep, only 2 banelings left. This is really not looking too good. He's actually getting Zerg Flyer Carapace, which is kind of an interesting upgrade. Generally, that's more of a high econ, I'm going to go Broodlords eventually, so I might as well get this upgrade. But you don't see people investing that much gas into it early. Usually they just go, like, Muta-Flyer attacks for additional harass. And we do actually have a counterattack here, but Taeja defends it nicely. I really like this wall play. This is something that the Koreans do, that very, very, very few foreigners ever do. I mean, even Marine King is doing it now, and he never walls, so that says something. I like Taeja's option to be mobile with only part of his forces, because he doesn't necessarily have to commit everything he can. This map is huge for counterattacks. That's really the one play that can get a Zerg back into this game on this map, because there are so many angles of attacks that you can come in. Although, there we go. Let's actually... I will go ahead and rewind this just so we can watch that again. Oh, what? Oh, nice. So he actually baited him back with the Mutalisks and then blew them up. So now Taeja knows. Although he has been saving energy. But he's getting mined out of his natural. His main is mined out. He could possibly put some more SCVs over there. He's kind of undersaturated. But I mean, 3-3 is going to finish up soon, and 2-2 is just started for Classic. Which makes me think that this is actually Classic playing. Zerg once again going for the counterattack here. Unburrowing the banelings and then moving them back. Sort of anticipating his movements. I like that. And... oh my god! This is a fun game. You know, I thought that this was going to be kind of one-sided at the beginning, but this is actually turning into a pretty... Look at the supplies. And now it's kind of nearing the time where you can actually judge the way the game's going with supplies. Taeja is not in the hottest economy spot. He has 35 SCVs. He has this huge army. If we take a look at the army tab, he has a huge army lead, a huge upgrade lead, right before 2-2 finishes. If he attacks now, I mean, this is going to be... Oh! And Classic's actually going for it, the counterattack with the mutas, thinking he can defend this purely on the ground units. And I'm not actually sure I agree with that, but we'll see. Taeja abusing this position here of the cliff. This is a very nice natural choke for the Terran to engage into, and he's actually... Oh, wow. Classic's hardcore committing to this, but he is actually getting stuff done. Taeja's splitting his Marines very nicely, even with a Thor in the mix. Thor will tank so many Baneling hits, it's disgusting. I would know, I play mech. Alright, so it looks like Taeja's pulling back with the mutas now, or Classic's pulling back with the mutas now, and he isn't going to go for it. Very nice spread here by Taeja. I don't think he has enough, though. The Zerg wasn't the most efficient in that engagement, though. I think he would have been if he had these mutas, but that was really nice timing by the mutas, actually. He's going to pick off all of these medevacs. That is massive. Taeja has now actually... Oh, no. Classic's still, kind of behind in the resources lost, but... I would definitely... After Taeja lost all of those medevacs, committing to that huge push, and he actually lost this command center as well. He had to lift the one from his main. If we take a look at the worker tab, it's still 30 in favor of our Zerg player. And this is actually... You know, I question this being uploaded as kind of like a one-sided roll, but this is turning into quite the game. So, there is actually no hive tech out, and I completely agree with this. He's not in a position to tech that hard. He has the gas to do so, but he really needs to commit the minerals to pressuring Taeja. He's ahead, but he's not that ahead. If he had maybe another base up and established, he'd be in a really good position to sit back at broods and go about his merry way, but he doesn't have the geysers up to do so. He's no longer mining off of these two. Although it does only have 700 gas left, he really needs everything he can get. I really like... If you think about it, it really was these Baneling mines that got him back into the game. I'm quite impressed with how he handled it. Wow, this hatch is a frickin' hero. And he is actually getting started on the creep spread again. I like that. Probably a lot of energy left on most of his queens by now, because of all the fighting that was going on. Especially if this isn't his main race. Although I'm assuming, I don't know. I'm just kind of torn whether this is actually Classic playing or some other Zerg on Prime, possibly Anyang. He does like his burrow play. I played him once or twice and he burrowed quite a fair amount. Alright. Classic is committed to this. Oh no! Oh, he really needs a Magic Oxus. He does. That Thor died so fast without those armor upgrades. If we take a look, he is at 2-1 right now. And actually researching... Oh wait, what? Oh, he's Carapace level 2. Nice. Very nice Thor ship micro with the Medevac and the Thor. Although I think he's just out of range. He's going to snipe that refinery. Although Taeja really doesn't mind. He's quite high on gas. Classic feeling okay to expand again. I possibly would have liked him to take this base over here. But this is definitely safe out of the way of drops. Terrans very scarcely send medevacs over this direction. So this is Taeja's, like... Let's see if I missed something. No. I keep wondering how Classic's supply is just plummeting. But it looks like Taeja is actually committing to this 100%. This is going to be kind of the do or die push. He has very little economy to stand behind if this goes awry. And I very much like this, sending Marines to scout everywhere before you actually commit with the entire blob of your forces. And Classic is going for a counterattack, but Taeja is quite prepared. As long as he can kill these mutas, he has this game. Because this is an all-in by Classic as well. If this attack fails, as it has right now, he doesn't have the units at home in order to defend this. 18 Lings right now, but he's 2-2 against 3-3. There are 6 tanks on the field, 4 with the army right here, and 4 medevacs with nearly full energy. And Classic GG's. So I'm not actually sure who was playing on the Zerg event, but Taeja did have... He faltered a little bit in the mid-game, I guess a little bit with his decision-making in not leaving enough forces at home for counterattacks, although he did have the infrastructure positioned in a way so that he could defend with, I guess, as little as possible and still be cost-effective. And really it was... The Zerg wasn't on high enough econ in order to support Hive Tech fast enough to punish Taeja for losing his entire army. And Taeja was aggressive all game against the Zerg's outlying expansions, and really tried to do his best to deny creep spread and keep the Zerg making units instead of drones. Because Classic was really, after that failed aggression at the beginning, Classic was sitting at around 60 drones for a while, and really you want to be up 4 base, 5 base with 80 drones, especially on this map. So many bases you can take. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will actually... I guess I'm going to record another game, although I won't have time tomorrow as I'm commentating a tournament and then playing in one after that. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.